Caught you climbing through the cotton candy clouds into porcelain. We felt more within. I clawed through creamy fields of milky sand streams. We sang in paragraphs. We held more from them. The clown away.
That spring makes red and white flowers appear in those trees. But the spring that is the origin of colors is colorless. And understand what I've said for the giving up all talk for the ruin. Original with the color, unite yourself to it. And I hate it for the existing for the thousands of the world's leap out of it. Pure existence, a flame to of itself. If it goes on beyond the birth and get different forms. And of course, none of these forms will laugh. But this is the known to the mystery. Happy is for those who get the life that knows who this is. For they living in a house with another far more radiant. You cannot understand the mystery.
Jaunting jealous jabs against the least of the skies. We fall willingly. Caught you climbing through the cotton candy clouds into porcelain. We felt more within. I clawed through creamy fields of milky sand streams. We sang in paragraphs. We held more from them. The clown away, calling fish around my swallowed head. We live in breezes, take you with me. I pull purple patterns from the point of standing still. We build perimeters made of emperors. Jaunting jealous jabs against the least of the skies. We fall willingly.
All the hope to be for mine alone. Where I am, for not the whither I should go. For the amnesia, for the myself and before I sell it. All for the breaking up of it again I build. All for the hope to be mine and the mind alone. For the heart, for the eclipse and the dark, with the wild destruction of the night. Bird for the life of the bird, for the glowing, for the flowing of the flames. You do not enter my heart once again. You are calling me to climb up and fly into that blue. For the how can I? My heart is the prison with the stranglement of the bird. For the tiny room, for the bird light. Supreme, I pray. I gloom. This is the arising of the awake. This is the offering of my dream through the breath of my life in the light. Heart for the mind, the consciousness of transcending the universe and the life beyond. Formula the meditation, the transcendental for the divinity and humanity and liberator for the Shiva. Ignorance, the sleep, that find this away, ever the same again for the truth. Reach, discover for the same again. Forgotten for the self-remembered. Same again for the goal we gain. Same again. This is the last word. This is the last word. You were here for the hope. This still exists on the earth for the dancing in your heart always. In the night, sorrow with the days of joys. Filled with the torture of the happiness is more painful than the torture of the sorrow. For when I am the joy and I forget you, I hurt your heart. Never the same. This is the life for the only supreme. To bring for the prayer for the beloved, for the within the heart that you can finally eternally shall be. Destruction, dance, destroy, shackles of the finite. Made a life for the supreme. He undate me for the heart, my will. Have love, the infinite for the heart, for the bloom is crying for the bloom of life, for the infinite. We give me eternal hunger and aspirations to cry. Tiniest drop for the loose, the reason for it. You can heart my balance, that's the ocean with the fire, the air, the life, and the spirit. I behold beauty, go, light, like spring. This will be the revealing of the soul fulfilled. Revelations will finally sweet. No memory heart but shall beside the grief for the bright days and nights. The song for the God's life. Above that toil for the life of my soul, for the birth of the fire, for the winging of the infinite. No one secret play. Pass beyond the sea for the ignorance of dream in tune with him. Sport for the singing, the only golden eyes supreme for the drunk deep over mortality with the root from the burrows of steaming the fast. My form, my known, my realization for the supreme denial one. We are outlast, at last. My life, my age, my name, my life began with the duties of the pride, for the beauties of the light, reality, so with the divinity, the height. My words, my Father, my supreme. Two are one for the one, by each other one. Nothing remains undone. This is for the revealing and the fulfilling of the goal. No more heart, no more shall breathe. This is the only singing because you see death in my heart, but I'm yours in identification. Conscious man pervading. I shall listen. I night in the tears and I cry.
The breeze drifts through the night.
It was the imagination, the life, the duration. For the imagination is false, for the blinding eyes and shit. I cry for not welcome to life and the purity, ugliness with the pride for victory. No smiling for the rejoicing, imagination for the death of the calling could not respond. That soul and I am for the death that I have no more, never. I should never walk a wrong path. Imagination, message of surrender. Imagination today, you like giving the message for the surrendering I offer to you. You, my very flower heart for the dark nights, with the tears for the unknown, the prison cell of illusion, for the house of the finite. This is the longer shall I abide, for you are mine, for I have known this. You are that world. My vital song of heart, the city, my mind for the forest of night. This is the youth of the world, the river of the tears. I came, the absolute realm for the bliss, of the bear for the ultimate, to both and nowhere to known for the immense and natural last events of one alone for the crossing of the secret ways of becoming the goal for the truth, immutable for the revealing. God so, spirit aware for the heights, for the I am muted, for the core and the song, for the better for nothing, the time and peace and the cosmic play is done.
Fog lifts up the morning. The breeze drifts through the night.
That spring makes red and white flowers appear in those trees. But the spring that is the origin, the colors is colorless. And understand what I've said for the giving and all talk for the ruin. To the original with the color, unite yourself to it. And I alienate for the existence for the dark of the world. Sleep out of it. Pure existence of flame to of itself. If it goes on beyond the birth of the different forms. And of course, none of these forms will laugh. But this is the knowns of the mystery. Happiest to those who get the life of the knows who this is. For they leaving in the house for another far more radiant. You cannot understand the mystery, though the reason. The way to knowledge with the winds and those who suffering and torment. But I do not feel the pain. You do not look for the healing. That soul does not live for the God, for they're not alive. She seems like a soul, but does not deserve another name. She has not been made alive for the beloved. That soul is the given of life for the four elements, like a lamp that burns through the night. That light is from the oil and the wicked, and it's not eternal. While the oil exists, for the lamp burns, then goes out. That one made alive by God will never die. He lives through the God and through the gold of the bread for the gold is light for the eternal source of lights, and the light is causes for the hiss, the fury, radiance and the light gold. God, value from the pure, perfect essence, and we
fill our minds.
Exist inside of the land for the more radiant, for you cannot understand the mystery, for though the reason for the way the knowledge and the wind suffering and the torment. Learn that meaning of the secret. The who is perfect in the path of the faith and never be deceived, for the always had a life for this, the brilliance and the remain siding of the stone wood for the straw. Mountain he would sometimes in nothing, but the God would not receive the good in all things. He saw the face of the God for the timelessly. The world is never far from him. It could perfume the spray for the rose garden. Who is deprived for the sense of smell, for they cannot distinguish the fragrance. Just as the stream for the better is in consciousness, the water for the flowing through it. It revealing for the more for the least of things in two worlds, and could be who disappear. It could be his enemy for the one light for the fire inside that soul and body. You find that inspiration for the man's regards to some deeds as well as done. For the evil, for those who cannot regard themselves, for the everything which exists inside the nature is God. That for everything in which it has a property. I am that. She is too.
The robot
I remained strong, came back, and in 24 hours like it was coming from a tomb. This is the rise, meaning it's in it. For this is not the assholes or the seers. This is for the understanding of the doing and the contemporary. For this we define and listen. Listen to the now, for this is the reaching out. For you cannot catch it, it's invisible, inaudible, for the intangible, elusive. The one, the only, the God, the she, for the meaning, for the infinite, you're looking to according to the unique medium. For the offering of the glimpse of the higher world. Consciousness beyond the order for the mundane. This is the prolific for the equality. Prolific for the composing of the spiritual, composing almost assistance art for the further goal for the offering of the you can be peaceful and meditative for the round the world for you can feel the universal language of what you share. This is the relating of the fact, spreading for the message and you can find the internal friendship through the harmony. This is the poetry, this is the flowers to flame. This is the nothing but the eternity, and this is the barren events, friction, potentiousness in the early life of the obscurity for the real name. Hold it down into themselves, and I exist for the rap and no soul. I erase. No mentor with the worthy, with the caliber for the habit, and all alone for the between the failure, for the frustration. I am red of thread between nothingness and eternity. I am God in the world, on the body for the home, for the river, let the tears in the vital, for you the strong, for the heartless of the city in my mind. Forest with the journey bone, that night for the human heart. You are the love of the word, love. I sing, I smile. I sing because you sing, I smile because you do. Because you play for the flute, for that I become the flute. You play with the depths of the heart, and you are mine, I am yours. So this is the soul identification in one form for the you, the mother, the father, the eternal, the conscious moon, and the conscious sun, and all pervading. It's fair.
Don't cease to swim in that seas of love for the rise and the wave. Descending for the sustains me, sink beneath it. Love bears me the way for no longer for the any shore. I am the one who I love. I am the one who I love, for the one who loves is myself. For the we are the two souls in the incarnate waiting with the one body for the sea. And the me for the sea, the him, the he, the us, and I.
Imagine what life would be like if
Kill me and my
we
faithful
found
friend.
out it was
For me and my
real.
being, for the killing in my life. For this is the love, for the rain and the standing, for the front of your beloved, for the stripping of all attributes. The attribute become the quality for the between me and you. For there's only one me, for the taking away until you remain. For the man regards some deeds for the well done, but some is evil for the Lord is not. Regard them so for the everything that would exist in the nature of God's creation. That if with everything for this done, for the property of being doing. This is for I am that, for the I am which is the highest and which is the lowest, and I am which is all. It is I am. It is me. It is the greatness and the goodness of the Father, for it is me. The wisdom and the kindness of the Mother, it is I am. It is me, for the infinite love, for the because of the great, for the infinite which is God is all humankind, for the makes of no distinction between the love, the blessed, the soul of Christ, for the loveliest of the souls, better be saved, for the wish shall ever highly rejoice, for the God dwell for that soul. More for the highly which shall we rejoice. So for the dwelling of the God, for the soul is made to be God, for the dwelling place, and the dwelling place of our soul is when we're ever made. We are the creation. For the man regards indeed, for the for the understanding of the contemporary romance between these songs. For here in the night I was broken, but came back for the rejuvenation of this be the altar. This is the poem through the floor for the trace of the world, for the man for the carry the memory of the locking up the hair with the straight. For the inside that invisible burn, for the face of the sun, long to be seen, for the into the separate object is a final flowing to the light of the moment of the time for the strong, for the breath of the love reside in us and treasure, locked into the heart of the hidden vault, because so first
sea broke over the rose bed of being interlocked. Soar through the window metals and heading toward home. What can I do but thank you for the 100 times for the face illumines my shrine. Eyes constant, present, and lovely. Learning the meaning and the secret for the revealing. Whether he makes you happy.
Imagine what life would be like if we found out it was real. But horses grow up to be unicorns and centaurs grow from under our legs. Would Hercules himself come down the mountain, yell at us all day? Gold be found in rainbows and the stars be left to the sky. Would we have a reason to live other than imagining our lives?
Don't cease to swim in that seas of love for the rise and the wave, descending for the sustained sink beneath it. Love bears me the wave no longer from the shore. I'm the one who I love. I'm the one who I love. The one who loves is myself. The two souls in the heart of me, one body for the sea, the need for the sea. Don't cease to swim in that seas of love for the rise and the wave, descending for the sustained sink beneath it. Love bears me the wave no longer from the shore. I'm the one who I love. I'm the one who I love. The one who loves is myself. We are the two souls in the heart of me, one body for the sea, the need for the sea. Kill me and my favorite friend. For me and my being for the killing of my life. This is the love of the rain, standing in front of the love of all attributes. That's become the quality between me. There's only one way to take it away from you remain. Man regards some deeds for the well done, but some is even for the Lord is not. Regard themselves for everything that would exist in nature is God's creation. That includes everything that is done for the proper doing. This is for I am that, for I am which is the highest and which is the lowest, and I am which is all. It is I am. It is me. It is the greatness and the goodness of the Father, for it is me. And the wisdom and the kindness of the Mother, it is I am. It is me, for the infinite love, for the because of the great, for the infinite which is God is all humankind, for the makes it no distinction between the love that bless the soul of Christ, for the lowliest of the souls that are be saved, for the which shall ever highly rejoice, for the God dwell within that soul. More for the highly which shall be rejoice. So for the dwelling of the God, for the soul is made to be God, for the dwelling place, and the dwelling place of our soul is will ever made. Yeah, the creation. For the man regards indeed, for the done some evil, for the who to be the poet, for the understanding of the contemporary and the romance between these songs, for the here and the now. I was broken, but came back for the rejuvenation of this to be the altar. This is the poem before, for the trace of the world, for the man, for the carry the member, for the locking of the hair, for the stray. For the inside that invisible breath, for the face, the sun, long to be seen, for the until the separate object was finally flung into the light, for the moment of the time first drawn, for the breath of the love reside in us and treasure, locked into the heart for the hidden vaults, but because sir, first sea broke over the rose bed of being interlocked, soared through the window metals and heading toward home. What can I do but thank you for the 100 times for the face of moments, mind, shrine, eyes, constantly present and lovely. Learning the meaning and the secret for the revealing. Whether he makes you happy or not, whether it makes you sad or hopeful, hoping no one losing you have to suffer mystery in the spirit for the patient, for the divine grace and coming from him, hastening the pain, sent for the God for the certain obtain, strength for the truth, you pray, faith in the marvels and news and the sense to be patient, but being a joy. Must be able to receive the grace when he's divine in the lashes. Him always with the serenity and whatever happens, simply do him. Alright. So it's not living God, it's not that for you to be alive, for the spring with the origin, the colors is colorless, and understand what I said, that the giving of the talk with the colors and unite yourself to existence. Thousands of the world bleep out of you. Your existence in flames of itself going on for the birthing of different forms. Of course none of those forms will last, but the happy is the one who knows this mystery.
Imagine what life would be like if we found out it was real. Would horses grow up to be unicorns and centaurs grow from under our legs? Would Hercules himself come down the mountain, yell at us all day? Would gold be found in rainbows and stars be left to the sky? Would we have a reason to live other than imagining our lives?
All for the breaking up of the again I build. All for the hope to be mine and the mind alone. For the heart, for the eclipse of the dark and the wild destruction of the night. Bird for the life of the bird, food for the glowing, for the flowing of the flames. Do not enter my heart once again. You are calling me to climb up and fly into that blue. For the how can I? My heart is the prison with the estranglement of the burnt. For the tiny room for the debirth, the light supreme. I pray, God gloom. This is the arising of the awake. This is the offering of my dream through the breath of my life in the light. Heart for the mind, the consciousness of transcending the universe and the life beyond. Formula the meditation, the transcendental for the divinity and humanity and liberator for the Shiva. Ignorance, the sleep, that fire, find this away, ever the same again for the truth. Rediscover for the same again, forgotten for the self-remembered. Same again for the goal regained, same again. This is the last word. This is the last word. You were here for the hope. This still exists on the earth for the dancing in your heart always. In the night, sorrow with the days of joys. Filled with the torture, the happiness is more painful than the torture for sorrow. For when I am the joy and I forget you, I hurt your heart, never the same. This is the light for the only supreme. Supreme for the prayer, for the beloved, for the within the heart where you can find the eternally shall be. Destruction, dance, destroy, shackles of the finite. You made the life of the supreme. You inundate me for the heart, my will. Have love, the infinite for the heart, for the gloom is crying for the blooming light, for the infinite, but give me eternal hunger when aspirations to cry. Tiniest drop for the loose of the reasons, for the you can heart behind my balance as the ocean with the fire, the air, the life of the spirit, and I behold beauty, gold, light, like the spring. This will be the revealing in the soul for fulfill, full revelations full of honest, sweet. No more memory, heart, what shall the sob, the grief, the dry days and nights dissolve in the God's light. Above that toil for the life of my soul, for the birth, for the fire, for the winging. All the hope to be for mine alone, where I am, for not the whither, for I should go, for the amnesia, for the myself of the beast, before I sell it. All for the breaking up of it again I build. All for the hope to be mine and the mind alone, for the heart, for the eclipse of the dark, with the wild destruction of the night. Bird for the life of the bird, for the glowing, for the flowing of the flames. And do not enter my heart once again. You are calling me to climb up and fly into that blue. For the how can I? My heart is the prison with the estranglement of the bird, for the tiny room for the debirth, the light supreme. I pray, God gloom. This is the arising of the awake. This is the offering of my dream through the breath of my life in the light. Heart for the mind, the consciousness of transcending the universe and the life beyond. Formula the meditation, the transcendental for the divinity and humanity and liberator for the Shiva. Ignorance, the sleep, that fire, find this away, ever the same again for the truth. Rediscover for the same again, forgotten for the self-remembered. Same again for the goal regained, same again. This is the last word. This is the last word. You were here for the hope. This still exists on the earth for the dancing in your heart always. In the night, sorrow with the days of joys. Filled with the torture, the happiness is more painful than the torture of the sorrow. For when I am the joy and I forget you, I hurt your heart, never the same. This is the light for the only supreme. Supreme for the prayer, for the beloved, for the within the heart, but you can find the eternally shall be. Destruction, dance, destroy, shackles of the finite. You made the life of the supreme. You inundate me for the heart, my will. Have love, the infinite for the heart, for the gloom is crying for the blooming light, for the infinite beginning, eternal hunger and aspirations to cry. Tiniest drop for the loose of the reasons, for the you can heart behind my balance as the ocean with the fire, the air, the life of the spirit, and I behold beauty, gold, light, like the spring. This will be the revealing in the soul for full revelations full of honest, sweet. No more memory, heart, what shall the sob, the grief, for the bright days and nights dissolve in the God's light. Above that toil for the life of my soul, for the birth, for the fire, for the winging, another infinite. No one, secret play, Pass beyond the sea for the ignorance and dream in tune with him. Sport for the singing and the only golden eye supreme for the drunk deep of immortality with the root from the burrows is steaming the fast. My form, my known, my realization for the supreme and I are one. We are outlast, at last. My life, my age, my name, my life began for the duties of the pride, for the beauties of the light, reality is so for the divinity of the height. My words, my Father, our supreme, two are one for the one, by each other one, nothing remains undone. This is for the revealing and the fulfilling of the goal. No more heart, no more sound to grieve through. This is only the singing because you sing. Depths in my heart for the I'm yours for the identification. Conscious man pervading. I shall listen. I night in the tears and I cried. You at the dawn with the light and I smiled.
Breeze drifts through the night.
It was the imagination, the life, the duration. For the imagination is false, for the blinding eyes and shit. I cry for not welcome to life and the purity, ugliness, and with the power of victory. No smiling for the rejoicing, imagination for the death of the calling to not respond. That's so that I am for the death that I have no more and ever. I should never walk a wrong path. Imagination, imagination, message of surrendering. Imagination, today you have given me the message for the surrendering I offer to you. You, my very flower heart for the dark nights, for the tears, for the unknown, the prison cell of illusion, for the house of the finite. This is the longer shall I abide, for you are mine, for I have known this. You are that world, my vital song of heartless city, my mind for the forest of night. This is the youth of the world, the river of the tears. I came, the absolute realm for the bliss, the bear for the ultimate, the both and nowhere, the known for the immense and that joy. I last offensive, one alone for the crossing of the secret ways of the becoming the goal for the truth, immutable for the revealing. God so, spirit aware for the heights, for the I am muted, for the core and the song, for the better, for nothing, the time and decent, the cosmic play is done.
Mysteries become us. As dreams fill our minds.
Spring makes red and white flowers appear in those trees. But the spring that is the origin of colors is colorless, and understand what I'm saying. That spring makes red and white flowers appear in those trees. But the spring that is the origin of colors is colorless, and understand what I've said for the giving up all talk with the ruin, original with the color, unite yourself to it, and I alienate for the evidence distance for the thousands of the world sleep out of you, pure existence of flame of itself that goes on beyond the birth, thinking different forms, and of course none of these forms will laugh, but this is the knowns of the mystery. Happy is the those who get the life, that knows who this is, for they leaving in the house for another far more radiant. You cannot understand the mystery, though the reason, the way to knowledge with the winds and those of suffering and torment, but I do not feel the pain. You do not look for the healing, that soul does not live for the God, for that is not alive. She seems like a soul, but this is not deserving of the name. She has not been made alive for the beloved. That soul is the given of life for the four elements, like a lamp that burns through the night. That light is from the oil and the wicked, and it's not eternal. While the oil exists, for the lamp burns, then goes out. That one made alive by God will never die. He lives through the God and through the gold of the bread, for the gold is light, for the eternal source of lights, and the light is causes for the his spirit, radiance and the light gold. God, value from the pure, perfect essence, and we exist inside of the land for the more radiant, for you cannot understand the mystery, for though the reason for the weight of knowledge and the wind suffering in the torment. Learn that meaning of the secret. The who is perfect in the path of the faith will never be deceived, for the always had a life for this, the brilliance and the remain siding of the stone wood for the straw. Mountain he would sometimes in nothing, but the God would not deceive the good in all things. He saw the face of the God for the timeless leaf. The world is never far from him. It could perfume straight for the rose garden. Who is deprived of the sense of smell, for they cannot distinguish the fragrance. Just as the stream for the better is in consciousness, the water for the flowing through it. It revealing for the more for the these and things, and two worlds and could be disappear. It could be his enemy for the one light, for the fire inside that soul and body. You can find that inspirations for the man's regards of some deeds as well as done, for the evil for those who cannot regard themselves, for the everything which exists inside the nature is God. That for everything in which it has a property. I am that. She is too. I remained strong, came back in the 24 hours like it was coming from a tomb. This is the rising and the ascending, for this is not the assholes for the seers. This is for the understanding of the doing and the contemporary, for this you can find and listen. Listen to the now, for this is the reaching out, but you cannot touch it. It's invisible, inaudible, for the intangible, elusive. The one, the only, the God, the she, for the meaning, for the only winner you're looking to, according to the unique medium, for the offering of the glimpse of the higher world. Consciousness beyond the order for the mundane. This is the prolific for the equality, prolific for the composer, the spiritual, composing almost assistance art, for this is further goal, for the offering of the you can be peaceful and meditative, for the round the world, for you can feel the universal language of what we share. This is the relating of the profound, spreading for the message, and you can find the internal friendship through the harmony. This is the poetry. This is the flowers to flames. This is the nothing but the eternity, and this is the barren events, rich in pretentiousness in the early life of the obscurity for the real name. Hold it down unto themselves, and I exist for the rapping and no soul. I embrace no mentor with the worthy, with the caliber for the have I, and all along for the between the failure, for this frustration. I am read a thread between nothingness and eternity. I am God in the world, on the body for the home, for the river of the tears and the vital for the strong, for the heartless of the city in my mind. Forest with the journey bone and night for the home my heart. You are the love of the word love. I sing, I smile. I sing because you sing. I smile because you do. Because you play for the flute, for the I become the flute. You play with the depths of the heart. You are mine, I am yours. So this is the soul identification in one form for you. The mother of Bathala, the eternal, the conscious moon, the conscious sun, all pervading. It's farewell time. The play of the heart would now begin, for the banner for the divine love. Fly towards that boundless sky, for the sun and moon, for the deathless of consciousness and the infinity, for the secret wealth of the worlds. Low of every feet, for the heaven's blessing of the message. Flood for the liberation and the body, for the divine nectar. This would be united for the heart, for the world. I came. This is the place where I'm through the beat is flame for the world, for the offering of the game, for the world, so the lustrous flood, for the I came from my existence, I came. But I fill my lens with the balance of grace, within my love for the truth and life, and shines that white. Secrets of the heights of the God for the soul, for the not climbing to dull over the sober pain, for the death in my sight, for the immortal days and nights can shake my calm. 8, light for the bucks sustain my secret soul. Dabs for the grief of the vanishing before my depths. Deeps, my eyes and light for the perceiving of the cherishing go through the world, for the I am above the upwards woes. Dwell in the ocean with the supreme release. My mind for the core, for the ones and unmeasured thoughts. Star vast, walking the hugs, and my spirits in the peace for the eternal days are found in the speeding time. Play upon the flute for the rhapsody, for the impossibilities and the more impossible seem. Birth changed and now shine. Immortality for the singing of a smile. Never the same again for the bird of light. One thought, one tune, one resonance for the calling of who I am and honor me. And this is not what I am, for the whither but I shall go, for the dark and amnesia. Myself and myself, myself for the breaking again, and I build all of hope.
I am a universal soldier.
Don't cease to swim in that seas of love for the rise and the wave. Descending for the sustains me, sink beneath it. Love bears me away from no longer for the any shore. I'm the one who I love. I'm the one who I love, the one who loves is myself. The we of the two souls in the incarnated mood, the one body for the sea, and the need for the sea, to him, the he to us. Kill me and my faithful friends. For me and my being, for the killing of my life. For this is the love, for the brain and the standing, for the friend of your beloved, for the stripping of all attributes, for the attribute becomes the quality for the between me and you. For there's only one me, for the taking away from until you remain. For the man regards some deeds for the well done, but some is even for the Lord does not regard himself for everything that would exist in the nature of God's creation. That is which everything which is done for the profit of being doing. This is for I am that, for I am which is the highest and which is the lowest, and I am which is all. It is I am. It is me. It is the greatness and the goodness of the Father, for it is me. And the wisdom and the kindness of the Mother, it is I am. It is me, for the infinite love, for the because of the grace of the infinite, which is God is all humankind, for it makes no distinction between the love, the blessed, the soul of Christ, for the lowliest of the souls, for the faith of the which forever highly rejoice, for the God dwell for their soul. Nor for the highly rich still we do rejoice. So for the dwelling in the God, for the soul is me, for the God, for the dwelling place, and the dwelling place of our souls, will ever be. We are the creation. For the man regards them deeds, for the done some evil, for the who to be the poet, for the understanding of the contemporary in romance between these songs. But here and now I was broken, but came back for the rejuvenation of this to be the altar. This is the poem put before with the trace of the world, for the man to carry the member, for the locking of the hair, for the stray. For the inside that invisible breath of the face of the sun, long to be seen for the into the separate object was the finally flung into the light of the moments of the time first gone, for the breath of the love inside and resting treasure, locked into the heart of the hidden vault, because first see, broke over the rose bed of being, inner, large, soar through the window metals and heading toward home. What can I do but thank you for the 100 times, for the face illumines mine, trying, eyes, constantly present and lovely. Learning the meaning and the secret for the revealing. Whether he makes you happy or not, whether it makes you sad or hope for hope and open losing, you have the suffering, the streaming your spirit for the patience, for the divine grace and coming from hand, patiently the pain, sent for the God for the certain arcane, strength for the truth, you faith in the marvelous and news and the sense of the be patient, but doing a great joy. Must be able to receive the grace when these divine anger lashes. Him and always with the serenity whenever happens and cling to him. Heart, soul, it's not live and God is God, it's not that for you to be alive, for the spring with the origin, the colors and colorless, and understand what I said at the beginning of the talk with the colors and unite yourself to existence. Thousands of the world leap out of you. Your existence is flames of itself, going on for the birth in different forms. Of course, none of those forms will last, but the happy is the one who knows this mystery.
Swimming at seas of love for the rise and the wave. Sing for the sustains me, sink beneath it. Love bears me away from the longing for the any shore. I'm the one who I love. I'm the one who I love, the one who loves is myself. The weird, the two souls in the incarnated moving one body for the sea. And the me for the sea, to him, to he, to us, to I. Kill me and my faithful friends. For me and my being, for the killing of my life. For this is the love, for the brain and the standing, for the family of the beloved, for the stripping of all attributes. The attributes become the quality for the between me and you. For there's only one me, for the taking away things, so you remain. For the man regards him deeds for the well done, and some is evil for the Lord does not regard himself for everything that would exist in the nature of God's creation. That if everything which is done for the profit of being, doing. This is for I am that, for I am which is the highest and which is the lowest, and I am which is all. It is I am. It is me. It is the greatness and the goodness of the Father, for it is me. The wisdom and the kindness of the Mother, it is I am. It is me, for the infinite love, for the presence of the great, for the infinite which is God is all humankind, and makes no distinction between the love, the blessed, the soul of Christ, for the glorious and the souls, for every sake of the wish ever highly rejoice, for God's well for your soul. More for the highly rich children to rejoice. So for the dwelling of the God, for the soul is made to be God, for the dwelling place, and the dwelling place of our salvation wherever made. Yeah, the creation. For the man regards him, for the done, the dance, and people, for the who to be the poet, for the understanding of the contemporary and romance between these songs. From here to now, I was broken, but came back to the rejuvenation of this to be the altar. This is the poem before with the trace of the world, for the man to carry the member, for the locking of the hair, for the stray. For the inside that invisible breath of the face of the sun, long to be seen, for the into the separate object was finally flung into the light for the moment of the time first drawn, for the breath of the love reside in us and treasure, locked into the heart for the hidden vault, for because first see, broke over the rose bed of being, inner, locked, soared through the window metals and heading toward home. What can I do but thank you for the 100 times, for the face illumines mine, shrine, eyes, constantly present and lovely. Learning the meaning and the secret for the revealing. Whether he makes you happy or not, whether it makes you sad or hope for hope and open losing, you have the suffering, stimulating your spirit for the patience, for the divine grace and coming from hand, patiently the pain, sent for the God, for the certain arcane, strength for the truth, you have faith in the marvelous and news and the sense to be patient to win the great joy. Must be able to receive the grace when these divine anger lashes. Him and always with the serenity whenever happens and cling to him. Heart, soul, it's not live and God is God, it's not that for you to be alive, for the spirit with the origin, the colors is colorless, and understand what I said, the beginning of the talk with the colors and unite yourself to existence. Thousands of the world leap out of you. Your existence is flames of itself, going on for the birth in the different forms. Of course, none of those forms will last, but the happy is the one who knows his mystery.
That spring makes red and white flowers appear in those trees. But the spring that is the origin, the colors is colorless. And understand what I've said for the giving up all talk with the ruin. Original with the color, unite yourself to it. And I heavy for the existence for the dollars of the world deep out of you. Pure existence of flames of itself as it goes on beyond the birth and get different forms. And of course, none of these forms will laugh, but this is the known to the mystery. Happiest of those who give the life to know who this is, but they leave you in the house, put another far more radiant. You cannot understand the mystery, though, the reason, the way the knowledge with the winds and those of suffering and torment. But I do not feel the pain. You do not look for the healing. That soul does not live for the God, but it is not alive. She seems like the soul, but this is not the servant of the name. She has not been made alive for the beloved. That soul is the given of life for the four elements, like a lamp that burns through the night. That light is from the oil and the wicked, and it's not eternal. While the oil exists, for the lamp burns, then goes out. That one made alive by God will never die. He lives through the God and through the gold of the bread. For the gold is light, for the eternal source of light, and the light is causes for the his, the spirit, radiance and the light gold. God, value from the pure, perfect essence, and we exist inside of the land for the more radiant. For you cannot understand the mystery, for though the reason for the way the knowledge and the wind suffering and the torment. Learn that meaning of the secret. The who is perfect in the path of the faith will never be deceived, for the always had a life for this, the brilliance and the remain siding of the stone wood for the straw. Not that he would sometimes in nothing, but that God would not receive the good in all things. He saw the face of the God for the time that sleep. The world is never far from him. It could perfume the straight for the rose garden. Who is deprived for the sense of smell, but cannot distinguish the fragrance. Just as the stream for the better is in consciousness, the water for the flowing through it. It revealing to the more for the least and things in two worlds and could be disappear. It could be his enemy for the one light for the fire inside that soul and body. You can find that inspiration for the man's regards to some deeds as well as done. For the evil, for the not regard himself, for the everything which exists inside the nature is God. That's for everything of which he has the property. I am that. She is too. I remained strong, came back, and in 24 hours like it was coming from a tomb. This is the rise and the ascending, for this is not the assholes of the seers. This is for the understanding of the doing and the contemporary for this. You can find and listen to the now, for this is the reaching out, but you cannot touch it. This is invisible, inaudible, for the intangible, elusive. The one, the omni, the God, the she, for the meaning, for the only winner, you're looking to according to the unique medium, for the offering of the glimpse of the higher world. Consciousness beyond the order for the mundane. This is the prolific for the equality, prolific for the composing, the spiritual, composing almost assistance art. For this is for the goal, for the offering of the you can be peaceful, and meditative for the round the world, for you can feel the universal language of what you share. This is the relating of the fact, spreading for the message, and you can find the internal relationship through the harmony. This is the poetry. This is the flowers of flame. This is the nothing but the eternity, and this is the barren events, rich and propitiousness in the early life of the obscurity for the real name. Holy down into themselves, and I exist for the rapping, and no soul, my race. No mentor with the worthy, with the caliber for the have I, and all alone for the between the failure, for the frustration. I am read a thread between nothingness and eternity. I am God in the world, on the body for the home, for the river of the tears and the vital, for the strong, for the heartless of the city in my mind. Forest with the running bone that night for the home my heart. You are the love of the word, love. I sing, I smile. I sing because you sing.